Hey everyone, Cynics here. Before we get into today's episode with the Cynics, I just want to give you a quick little heads up and background regarding the conversation. So we recorded this remotely via Zoom, myself plus 6 other cameras. 6 other cameras all across the world, 3 in Spain, 3 in America, and it surprisingly works. But with having this many people in a chat, you have people talking over each other. I don't get to say a whole lot, but it's a fun conversation regardless. If you are a fan of the Cynics, if you know any of them personally, I think you will enjoy this. Just wanted to let you know that there is inevitably some audio dropouts and some weird things that happen because, again, this was, 7 people all over the globe right now. We were able to make this conversation happen. And it took me a little bit to get it together because it was so much, but I finally got it edited together and I'm really happy to release this. So please sit back, relax, and let's start the motherfucking beat. Hello and welcome to Start the Beat with Cynics. My name is Cynics and this is my podcast. Before we get started, I just wanted to take a quick moment to thank everyone who checked out the last episode. If you're one of those people, I hope you enjoyed the conversation and thanks so much for coming back. But for those of you out there who are new to the show, welcome. Feel free to make yourselves at home wherever the fuck that is. And as always, there's beer and soda in the fridge. Cheers from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
There's people all over the place right now.
Cheers, everybody.
I'm going to get myself a beer.
So I am sitting here today. I'm sitting here today with 4/4 of the Cynics. Make some noise for the internet.
Hey. Actually, if I may, there's officially 5 members now because Barbara. And actually, if you really think about it, for the last couple of years almost, there's been 7 members because Heather and Dan, who are lurking.
Well, that would explain all the other schmucks in the chat. Thanks.
Like the 7 dwarf yo-yo.
Yes. So there's a ton of history involving the Cynics. For anybody that doesn't know, you've been a reasonably active band, depending on the year, for, several decades. And I don't know if Greg or Michael wants to get the start. I guess maybe it should start with Greg. Greg, why don't you tell us why the fuck you started this band and why you're still doing it?
It's been so long, I forgot. I really don't. I think I just like garage music more than anything, garage and punk rock. So kind of you fuse the two together and you hope that you find band members that are into the same music and you get in the van and go on tour. That's it.
Yeah, it seemed like at the time when you started, the approach to what you were doing with, mixing garage and punk and elements of this and that, there wasn't a whole lot of people doing it. So, what were your musical influences back then? What made you think about doing this fuzzed out stuff?
I would say it was Blues Magoos, The Who, Electric Prunes, Beatles kind of instigated the whole thing, but then you experiment. You go, okay, Stones are darker. They're kind of the one tune, Last Time, is probably the first garage tune I think that really stuck. And then I Can't Get a Satisfaction introduced the fuzz box, and those two kind of kicked things off. But the Electric Prunes are fucking great, So that's kind of where it's at.
I gotcha. And then eventually, Greg gets this idea to be a rock and roller, and then Michael ends up in the picture at some point in time. So, Michael being a very extravagant and lively frontman.
Flamboyant.
How did you get into music? What were you listening to back then? And what made you want to be such a character on stage?
I don't think Greg all of a sudden decided that he wanted to be a rock musician, because I think he was doing it as long as I was, since we were 8 or 9.
Sure.
I started
at the same thing.
5 years old. I started 5.
And then later on, during the late 70s, I think is when Greg and I first intersected in the same kind of scene. He was in bands, and he also ran a sound company that would do sound for some of the bands that I was in. So we intersected that way, and in some other ways that I don't want to mention, but it's not what you're thinking. And eventually, since we were both in the same scenes and in bands and would play together in different bands, and we're kind of in the same kind of music, and I would see him at odds. Well, anyway, we became really good friends before we were in a band together. And the way it finally worked out is that I kind of got out of the bands that I was in, and Greg was in the Cynics, and he decided he wanted a new singer. And he was like, and I was like critical of his singer. I will admit it that he had that. I'm like, you guys are really good, but you could use. And Greg was like, well, why don't you the fuck do it? And I don't know. We were sitting on the steps on Chesterfield Street, and we were tripping balls. And Greg asked me, well, why don't you do it? And I'm like, yeah, you know what? What the fuck? I'll do it. Let's try it. And that's how we started.
And I think
late 80s.
The Chesterfield house, we were tripping, and Bill, remember I had that blaster, the big radio, and it was broken. He took it all apart, and he was way in the kitchen in the back, and I can hear from outside of the steps the little screws coming out and trickling onto the floor like trails from outside. And remember, Bill fixed the radio, but that's when we were bullshitting outside,
Did he really fix it? Because I remember when Bill would get really
missing
drunk.
a few parts, but it worked.
As I remember when Bill would get really drunk, he was like the Hulk. He's like, me, smash.
Yeah.
I remember him just smashing it. I don't remember him fixing it. But yeah, I do remember screws rolling all around. But I thought they were coming out of my head because I agreed to be in the Cynics.
And the Bill that we're
Bill was more like Herman Munster when he needed a sleeping pill, and he slept in a coffin, remember, for overnight. And he scared everybody at the museum. That was Bill.
So
he'd pass out on
the Bill we're referring to would be the Cynics drummer.
Von Hagen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Original drummer. Yeah.
Cool. So there's a whole lot of era of the Cynics that we could kind of just skip over right now because the people that were
or error
that we could skip over because those people aren't sitting here in the chat right now. But the most modern era of the Cynics involves these two other gentlemen that are underneath me on the screen. I'm not sure how this is going to look when people actually watch it, but Angel and Peebly, hello. It's good to see both of you.
Hi, Brian.
Hello, Brian.
Hi, how are you?
And for anyone that doesn't know, Angel and Peebly are not from Pittsburgh. So who wants to tell the story about how they got involved in the band?
Well,
you guys explain it.
It was in 2007 with the Here We Are album recording when I started to play with the Cynics.
Yeah, the story is that
it was my crazy idea, basically.
Yeah, that Barbara is in the picture. Oh, it's back. But what happened is that back then I was playing with a legendary garage punk rock and roll band from Spain called Dr. Explosion. So the main guy from Dr. Explosion, he owns a studio in our hometown. So that's when Barbara had the idea to record in Gijón, and Jorge made a plan. So back then, Greg and Michael didn't have a rhythm section. So Jorge came up with the idea that he could use. I mean, they could use
with a lot of cases.
Rhythm section, which was Peebly and me, and that's how we met them personally, because we obviously knew the band. Peebly played with them like 20 or 25 years ago, something like that.
Yeah,
and to be honest, I didn't know what to expect from this first meeting, because I knew that they could be completely assholes as human beings. Much to my surprise, it happened that they were extremely nice. It worked. I mean, when I met Michael, we were talking for 30 minutes about the fall. about Marky Smith in a cider place where they pour the cider down, and that was beyond my expectation.
Yeah,
So that's how it happened.
I was curious.
I remember when they sent me the demos of the songs to record, and it was like, okay, I gotta be good here. I was listening to the songs, trying to, I don't know, figure out what to play. And I remember when we met at studio and we started to rehearse with "Here We Are" song, and kind of I think they like it, or it worked somehow. And it was when I thought, okay, this is gonna work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Peebly, I thought the first song may have been "Slide Over."
Yeah.
And I
right.
did the intro on it, and you guys came in immediately, and I was like, wow, it sounded like I thought maybe we were a tight unit in a band for 20 years. It just felt it was like really amazing. I thought we were the fucking Beatles.
I don't know. I remember "Here We Are." I remember the "Here We Are."
Was it "Here We Are"? Or I thought it was.
I don't know.
No. Greg is correct. It was a "Slide Over." I remember that. That was the first Cynics songs we played together.
Yeah.
Slide Over. That's right.
Yeah.
So Greg was already
slip it in, Black Flag.
So Greg was mad at me. Let me intercept here because Greg and I were mentioning this earlier today in our conversation, that so he was already mad at me because I planned the thing behind his back. I had to change the flights because he didn't want to do it. And we're there. And we're staying at Jorge's house. And he has a tiny bathtub. So before the first day, he was taking a shower in the bathtub.
Cool.
I remember.
He was like, I can't play. And I was like, his back was hurting. He could hardly move his arm. It's like, oh my God. It's like,
I had a fucking knot on my head like a baseball.
After this, he's going to kill me for putting him through that. And he was like, I don't think I can play. So that's why he just started like to slide over because you could hardly move. And I'm like, come on, you can do it. I was pushing you, and you were in major pain from the fall.
Too much pizza, Angel.
Yeah, I know.
I couldn't move from the many pizzas.
Yeah.
If I may, these accounts are accurate except for 2 points. We had met in person, Angel and Pubic, many years before when they were both just mere teens. Pubic with Los Bogos, a band that he was in that we played with, and
Los Bugues.
And Angel we had met at shows in Gijón where he came to see us play, and I would hand him the microphone, he would sing. So we had met them both when they were just teens. And then we re-met them as adults, well, kind of adults, when we went to Gijón to record the Here We Are record. And they were so easy to work with, and they added so much with their own ideas to the songs, and they were just so professional that after we were done with the recording, we decided to poach them, you know what I mean, steal them from Dr. Explosion. So in a way, we were like, hooray, thanks for the record, fuck you, we're stealing your record.
For Christ's sake.
Well, that's part of this. Well, you stole half of the band.
Not exactly, because we had Jorge as the bass player first, because Jorge wanted to be the bass player.
Yes.
And he was too much into his own thing most of the time.
Going to the Turkish skew baths houses instead of rehearsing.
Yeah, Jorge was more into his own thing rather than rehearsing.
Yeah, and did Jorge record any bass on the record?
Yes.
Did he?
He did guitar. He played a little guitar.
No, but he did play. He did play a few songs with the bass.
He played with the
Actually, Here We Are. He plays. He made a good line there. So I think he probably played like 3 or 4 bass lines. Yeah.
And he never even got a medal for it.
Exactly. That's how it works here.
Yeah, he did
Homie,
the
where's
guitar.
Homie? I don't see Homie anymore.
I'm here.
Well, he's there. He's listening.
I'm just
Jorge
chiming
played
in.
the solo on She Fell, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Jorge's playing the solo
Guitar
on
and
She
She
Fell.
Fell.
I was sleeping in the.
Yeah,
I
you're
was
like, I
recovering
want
from
to play.
the fall.
Yeah, but talking about what Michael was saying about that, it was, I mean, that we came up with ideas to the songs. That's a great point that really surprised me back then, and I still really admire Michael and Greg, that they were also very, very easy to work with because they accepted suggestions. That was, I remember like that song called The Warning. I came up with a few changes about the structure, and they said, okay, that sounds fine. Let's do it that way. So that was something that I really loved, because
I like that.
it wasn't like very stiff mentality, you know.
That's true. But I also remember on the next record, the I Need More song.
That's always the case.
It was an angel idea to play the fuzz,
The riff
with the fuzz.
at the beginning.
And it's good.
What song?
Some fuzz bass.
Da, 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 da. You play with the chords.
We used to start with the chords at first.
Yeah.
So
I was on there.
with
Sorry.
It's okay. With Here We Are, then a large portion of those songs were kind of written before Ainsley and Peebly were even in the picture. Then,
Not really.
no, not really. So was that like, or was that album?
Wait. If I may say, okay, if I may say,
Some of them, yes.
I think so.
if I may say, I think more than any record, that was the least prepared as far as what we knew, what we were actually going to do. I had a bunch of songs that I wrote on piano. Greg had some songs that he wrote by himself totally that ended up being on the record. And I think that record, especially, we went into the studio with not really knowing what was going to happen. I think it was the least structured from the get-go. And that's why it was so amazing to play with Angel and Peebly, because they like helped us bring it together and okay, we're going to do something with this. And
I mean, like,
Right. There was Here We Are was the only song that was almost done, because Greg worked on that song for like a year, and I'm like, oh my god, I couldn't take it anymore. Play it at home every day. Then there was one song. So Greg had two songs, and I encouraged him to sing. But one of the songs he only had the lyrics, and I just came up with the lines right there in the studio while they were recording and finished the lyrics for the Last Mistake. It was, right? I think.
They had some songs, but they were, naked, just voice and piano, or just acoustic guitar.
Naked, like Michael likes it.
No matter how much you ask, I am not giving you my OnlyFans screen name.
Okay, we have to pay, right?
Whatever.
The thing that's really interesting to me about the Here We Are record, listening to it and finding out about how it was put together, is it makes a lot of sense, because it is probably the least rhythmically driven Cynics album. I would say it's a lot more singer-songwriter feeling and not so much like rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes sense.
And hey, Brian, in WYEP, their singer-songwriter radio station, they didn't see any songwriting on it.
Well, they're a bunch of fucking idiots.
Yeah, we can say that.
I mean, Jesse's cool, but fuck the rest of them, right?
Yeah. There's a lot of. I'm not getting it at all. There's a lot of musicians from Pittsburgh that should be played on it, and it's not. Anyway, so
they get played in other places.
But the question that I'm interested in next would be, okay, so you had these songs that were very singer-songwriter focused that you brought to a fucking powerhouse of a rhythm section, and you put together a cool album. But then on the next batch of songs, what was it like actually like writing and putting songs together for the first time with Angel and Peebly? Like having this crazy rhythm section behind you.
It almost was the same thing again, wasn't it, guys?
What was the next
No.
Was the spinning wheel the next record after that?
Yeah.
Well, we had more of an idea of the songs because Greg and I had congealed the songs a little better. But I think we had already rehearsed with the two Spanish boys.
Yeah, we did some
before
rehearsal.
that.
We pretty much can do that over and over and over again.
Well, we had
But I would listen, guys. I would really love if the whole fucking band was here at the warehouse and we were playing riffs four times a week and really ripping shit up to make an angry record.
To the warehouse, Greg. Nah, ain't gonna happen. We're not all moving to the warehouse. No.
But we're locked out. We can't even get out of our fucking house.
Well,
in answer to your question, we had a lot more cohesion together for Spinning Wheel, and we pretty much recorded the whole thing live at Jim Diamond's Ghetto Recorders before it was ripped down. We were one of the last records of that year to be recorded there. And we did it really quick because that's Jim Diamond's way. Just do it live, mic it, boom, boom, boom. Yeah. It was painless. So it was a lot more gel.
I have to say, Jim Diamond, we spent, 5 hours getting there. And I called him. I said, Jim, I'm on my way. I'll be there in 3 to 5 hours, depending on the traffic and how fast I was going. And we get there, and I had nothing set up, if you remember, Pinkley. And I'm like, I'm a little pissed off. I'm like, fuck, you had 5 hours to set the gear up. And I go, okay. So I sucked in my stress, and I said, where's the coffee? He goes, oh, top left-hand thing. I made coffee. By the time it perked and I poured my first cup, I turned around and had everything set up. He goes, you thought I'm fucking around. And I'm like, he got me. He works that fast. Yeah. It was about 2.5 hours, people. We were done with the basic tracks, and you go, give me the keys to the van, and you left us.
It was so cool because I remember like let me see what you can use, this, and this. And he set up like a Frankenstein drum kit, like blue, yellow, and it was great.
Yeah. Hey, people, the one thing he did tell me, he had a session with those timpanis in the back room where Michael had the vocal booth, and he found a whole bunch of silver Cuervo empty bottles stuffed inside the kettle drums. I wonder where they came from. Michael said he was on the same bottle.
we were using the glass for ballast. Yeah. It wouldn't roll over.
I didn't find out about it until about a year later, though. Neither did he. Because I can't believe it, man. He stuffed a couple Jose Cuervo silver bottles in the kettle drums.
But when it comes to Brian's initial question, I will say that the rehearsing to prepare the LP was much more natural than Here We Are. Here We Are was like a wrecking crew thing, like we used to listen to.
Yeah, we didn't know. Well, we didn't know.
We did an arrangement. Yeah. Let's record it. Let's get it out of the way.
Yeah.
But Spinning with Motel was like a real band because back then we were playing for 3 years together.
Yeah.
So we knew the song.
We got rock and roll.
And then we rehearsed for 5 days, doing the arrangements, trying different things, and then we recorded in like 3 days. The basic tracks and the vocals and the harmonies, everything.
Yeah,
I think it was
time to go. We had time to go to Motel to buy records. To see.
We were sightseeing
You went to Motown.
City.
Yeah.
Car City was still there, right?
People's Records.
Yeah, we did go. We went to Car City Records.
Yeah, that was still open.
Okay. Yeah. But two funny notes. First of all, only the band will get this. I remember going across the street every day to get the shawarma.
Oh, yeah. Those were really good.
And number two, Angel and Pibbs were talking about going record shopping. One day they took the van and they disappeared, and they were supposed to be back in a few hours. And like 5 hours later, we were like, oh, surely somebody has killed them by this time. They're not coming back. There's probably the band is probably riddled with bullet holes, and they're not coming back. But they came back with a lot of booty. And by that I mean,
yeah. And we went to Kentucky Fried Chicken.
oh, I wonder that didn't fucking kill you. Fuck the gangs or the bullets. That didn't kill you. They're bulletproof.
Phoebe always says that it was the worst meal he's ever had.
No, the White Tower with the powwows.
That boat, White Castle.
Phoebe, the White
Kentucky Fried
Tower
Chicken.
powwows. Yeah, you got White Castle.
Oh,
White Tower.
I couldn't have that burger. I couldn't.
Yeah, I told him. I told you guys you were gonna get sick, and you did.
Everybody had cramps.
In Kentucky Fried Chicken, it's like,
Do you guys see?
I don't know, 1 kilo of salt.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, as far as Kentucky Fried Chicken, even way before the Corona lockdown, Kentucky Fried Chicken, pretty much in every city, even here, they would have a big plexiglass thing, you know what I mean? A big plastic thing at the counter when you order. And it wasn't to protect from the bullets in Detroit. It was to protect from the customers' projectile vomiting.
Exactly.
What the heck?
Yeah, I can tell that, yes.
So,
but
How about the KFC?
So
Hashtag KFC.
I prefer to eat a dog's cock.
Yeah, you know, one word for chicken. One word for chicken is cock, so they should just call KFC Kentucky Fried Cock.
Okay.
So the Spinning Wheel Motel, you put that out. That was 2011, I guess, when that came out.
Mm-hmm.
It was like right
I
before.
think 10 or 11. 10.
It was like
maybe
right,
11.
It was right before
it was
I started
recorded 10.
It was like right before I started working at Get Hip that came out, because it was like kind of new at the time. And now I've been working at Get Hip for a while.
It's been that long.
It's me. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's been a surprising amount of time already. But
I appreciate it.
But since that time, there has not been a new Cynics release.
You're instigating now.
Oh yeah.
They're a little lazy. I've been pushing for it.
So
yeah, we gotta get together.
Yeah.
My next,
So Brian, the idea was to we were supposed to have a tour here in May, and again rehearse a little bit more, because in January I was supposed to rehearse, and they did have these songs. So after this tour in May, we were supposed to have Phoebe and Angel come back to Pittsburgh in August and do a quick tour. And
that can still happen.
And I was planning a recording with Pete in Youngstown.
Yeah.
But of course, that I don't think is going to happen now in August.
Well,
I mean, we can still give it a try.
Not yet.
Barbara.
But it will happen in the future.
Barbara, that's going to be this year. My goal was to do it this year. I think the other two albums, they're ready, and I know it.
It will happen.
I just don't know it.
It will happen soon.
Everything we need is just to rehearse a few days in the middle of a tour. That's it. I mean, we have ideas. We can do it. I mean,
I will see. Maybe nobody wants to travel to the U.S. in this summer, so maybe we can find cheap tickets the end of August. By the way, we might have a tour.
I'll put all the staple papers aside for you.
Staple
got blues.
Staple Prison Blues.
Stapleman Blues.
Yeah.
Barbara.
Yeah, well, we have the supposedly we have the dates that were supposed to happen in May. The festival's moved to last weekend in August. We'll see. If it happens, we'll go, and then we can rehearse it at home for a couple of days. And then we have a festival in Berlin September 5th. And they tell me that that's happening. I'm like, okay, if you say so. I don't know. I find that hard to believe the way things are going. But hey, keep optimistic. You know,
absolutely.
If it happens, great. If not, well,
I think it's gonna happen.
I hope so.
Well, I'm gearing towards that.
I think I don't know what to say, but
In Spain, it's getting really, really better. I mean, the situation and the figures, the cases, everything.
Are there less death, Angel, or no?
Yeah. It's going down. It's going really down. Actually, today was the first day that kids are allowed to go outside.
Yeah, I did see that. I saw that.
So we'll see what happens tomorrow. And then Saturday, I'm allowed to go outside and exercise or walk for 1 hour in the street. Woohoo!
So it's getting better. I mean, festivals and that sort of stuff are going to be that's going to be slower.
It ain't gonna happen unless they give us everybody goes to the festival or like any big show, we just wear those white suits that the doctors wear with a whole mask and thing. So when you go to the festival, you just buy that with your ticket. You need to buy the whole outfit, and that's what you're saying.
Yeah. But I think that in Germany, especially, the festival will be probably going on. I don't know in Spain, but in Germany, they seem to have this situation.
I don't know about Germany, Scandinavia.
In those countries, yeah.
No problem.
They're opening up more now. Yeah, they're starting to open up. I was listening to the news. In Germany, it's kind of like going back to normal.
Look,
what are you drinking? DDR.
Look. The bottom line is there's nothing.
Santa Claus.
The bottom line is there's nothing we can do about it. I think it's way too early to buy green bananas. But why? I think it's too early to cancel stuff too, because something like a festival takes a long time to plan, but it can still be canceled, if it needs to be canceled. So I say it's not in our hands. Let's not say we're going to do it.
Exactly.
Let's just see what happens. And for God's sakes, we're not scheduling it. Let the promoters schedule it if they want, and we'll do it if we can, whatever. Or if we can't, it doesn't matter. There's nothing we can do. It's out of our hands.
Amen.
Now,
Brian, you there?
Oh, I'm here.
You see what I have to put up with?
I
gotcha.
Listen,
gotcha.
Greg,
go ahead.
I have to put up with it too because.
I know. Yeah.
Because if I wasn't in this chat, I'd be getting the whole play-by-play tomorrow, regardless.
Oh, I know.
So
it is. Yeah, it will be tomorrow. Tomorrow's Monday.
But Barbara, whenever you cut in before talking about trying to, help facilitate the new Cynics record, that was actually a perfect segue because I wanted to talk about how the band has remained active and like your role in helping keep the band active over the past decade. And what it's like trying to keep a band active, a band of people that, they're not getting any younger and they live in different countries and everybody has other shit to be doing, but you're still pulling it together when you can.
It's very simple. When I get offers, I put a plan together. If I feel that the plan is good, I ask Pubic and Angel mainly because Pubic has all the gigs and Angel has a job. Michael and Greg, I know that they're pretty much open. And I ask them, it's like, hey, are you open? And if they are, I just book the stuff and I tell Greg and Michael, hey, we got this going on. And they're like, okay. And mainly I don't seek things when somebody offers me something. If it's good, I negotiate it. And if it's happening, I book a tour around a festival. And I go by instinct, whatever I think is good. But basically, I plan it before telling them. Because if I tell Greg and Michael, we had this offer, they're like, oh, no, we can't do that. That's impossible.
That's the
plan is already made. They're like, okay.
That's the thing. It's very, very difficult for her because sometimes she'll keep telling offers and offers, and I'll say no for 2 years, which happened recently. Nah. Like Larry David. Nah. Let's take another year off.
Well, the thing is that that if I agree to something, it's because I already thought about it and I weigh the pros and cons. So by the time I will offer it to you, it's already a thought plan.
So,
I guess.
this question's for Angel and Peebly. And I guess, I mean, it could be for everybody, but I'm more curious about the two of them because, you grew up in, playing shows through Spain, right? Like you weren't in America. Maybe you may have played some shows over here. I'm not sure if your band's toured, but you grew up in Spain. And I'm curious, like whenever you were first coming to America to play shows, whether it was with the Cynics or maybe another band, were there any differences that you felt were like really dramatic from Spain to playing shows in America?
No people.
yeah, everybody's big.
What? They're playing to 5 people in Pittsburgh? Holy moly. Let's go home.
Yeah, well, that too.
Right, let them talk.
Okay.
You
I don't know. Maybe it's funny because this question was made by Heather and Dan for the documentary. I think that what I said was that, I mean, in terms of reaction, I think I wouldn't say there are any dramatic differences. I mean, there are good audiences in Spain and good audiences in the States. And I think it's an important point is that actually people understand what Michael is singing. I mean, there's not the same front language barrier that is in Spain, for example. So maybe people in Spain focus more about Michael's attitude and music
and the sound.
instead and the sound, exactly.
Yeah, the show.
Of the lyrics.
But I think it's better. I think the same in the US. I don't think people care about the lyrics. They just go to go wild. The ones that go to the city. Maybe.
And there's another point that I said for the documentary is that in a way I really think that we are much more appreciated in the States than in Spain, oddly enough, because most of the people in Spain, or maybe a lot of people in Spain, think that we play with the Cynics just only in Spain. So they tend to see us more like session musicians, and I think that what people in the States see is more like a whole band. They don't mind. Okay, these people are from Spain and these guys are from the States, so that's perfect. That's a band. Okay, that's.
Oh yeah, and also because they had a history in Spain, and it's always like Greg and Michael, and me. People consider me like I'm just a Spanish girl too, and you guys are Spanish, and they are, the guys. Well, yeah, in the US, is seeing us the whole band.
Exactly.
Not just.
But anyway, I think that's changing too, because I mean we've been playing with them a lot of years now. I think it's 13 years now.
Yeah,
so
and I don't know if
used to seeing us now.
And also, let me intercept here for a second, because reading all the reviews, especially from last year, there's a huge emphasis in the reviews on the rhythm section and on Greg. It's always like Michael's always being but now they're appreciating the value of the rhythm section individually, or Greg's guitar playing individually, and then Michael's performance. So everything is bringing, just getting to the same level of appreciation for the whole thing. And that is everything together that makes the band what it is right now. And that makes
I don't know, people. You're
If I may, I think that reviewers are correct, and the reason for that is because I believe the band at this point is the best that it's ever been. I think that's why.
I agree on that.
That, and also because
they're finally recognizing that we're a team.
Yeah, and also I think it's because there's a lot of really popular bands, especially in Spain right now. I don't want to name names, but bands are really popular, but they're musically very mediocre. But they're entertaining, and the music critics appreciate a band that is the whole band.
Yeah.
It's like the level of performance and the quality is so high. as opposed to the popular stuff right now that is honestly, it's just like bores me to death. But
there is a difference that surprised me when I went to the States for the first time about the shows. And it's like in Spain, like always, the venues or the promoters, they always pay the accommodation or dinner for the bands. In America, you never get that.
You shit for yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, you always have to pay. And I didn't expect that. It was like, whoop.
Yeah, big surprise.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the Wild West. You get your money, do what you want to do with it.
Yeah.
But Angel, what was your
rock and roll?
You can get money. Brian knows that.
Yeah. If you can.
Sometimes you get money.
What's that, Greg?
Well, how about the one show in New Orleans at the Saturn Club when we played for the Ugly Beats, really? And it turned out to be a brawl. And I looked at the ledger when we got audited, Barbara, and that was the night we made $5. We had the van side swiped, a murder across the street, almost had a bar fight, and we netted $5 that night.
Yep.
In New Orleans after Katrina, of course. But it was $5.
And we paid for the hotel too. We got a hotel.
Yeah.
And we did get a flight back. But they weren't there, Greg. That was with Ugly Beats Rhythm Section.
Right. Yeah, Peebly and Angel missed that. But that was a good slap in the face. $5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
$5. And then I have to pay for the flights back to Pittsburgh, the hotel.
It was brutal.
Good business.
It was memorable.
But Angel,
I'll never forget it.
Brian probably would like to know your first impression when we went to Jim Diamond's to record, and you and Peebly saw Detroit Inner City for the first time. What did you think?
Well,
and you love it.
Yeah, I've loved it.
I was even in shock.
Yeah, because I've always been a great fan of this kind of dystopian science fiction where the future is like there will be a worldwide pandemic and we have to stay at home.
Now we're living it.
Yeah, we're living it.
Yeah.
To me, it was like my neighborhood in the 80s.
I was aware that Detroit was in almost complete decadence at the time. So, and I found a very, very interesting website where they showed all these aficionados. They made these pictures of, they used to get into the destroyed buildings, the ruins, and take pictures of the inside. And I was obsessed for a while, like for months before going to Detroit. Like, this is going to be fucking great to see all this decadence.
Well, you saw, it was probably his work.
He told me that. Hey, let's go. He told me that.
Yeah, and you know what? My impression was that even back when it was the economical flourishing city, I think my impression was that it used to look like a little bit gloomy because of the architecture. This kind of neoclassic architecture, skyscrapers from the 20s. I found it like even probably in the 60s where Motown and the General Motors and everything, that city will probably have this dark side.
Oh, yeah.
Angel, you're exactly right. And I know your obsession also with Chernobyl. And Detroit was, especially when we went there, was like the epitome of post-industrial decay. And I remember when we were loading our shit in the elevator to take it up to the studio, and we saw these big Detroit-sized rats. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be good. We're here.
Yeah.
Oh, and that wants to crawl in the fucking guitar case.
But he wanted to go to the abandoned buildings. Hey, let's go there.
I always remember after all the recording sessions, we used to hang out at a club right in front across the street.
Yeah, I like that club.
One night I went to Greg and I said, "Hey, Greg, What do you think if we take the van and we walk around, we drive around the city to see the decay and the skyscrapers? Greg told me, I'm not doing that. I don't know my way around.
No,
I always remember that. I don't know my way around. And okay.
That jazz club is beautiful.
Back in the mid-90s, Greg and I used to drive to Detroit a lot. And then one time, I can't remember where we were going, from Car City to somewhere else. We did get lost in a bad neighborhood, and it was like blocks and blocks with all these fires in the front of buildings and inside buildings. And we're like, we're screwed. And this was before cell phones, so we had to stop somewhere to call up and ask the people we were going, like how to get there. And it was pretty scary, if I recall.
Shocking.
Yeah, I think Detroit downtown is pretty scary. I mean, the last time we went there, it was 5 years ago. And I must say that you could feel that it's getting better. It is. They built a lot of new buildings, construction. You could feel that the city is coming back, but
after this pandemic,
I don't know.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Gonna bring cities like that is gonna bring them back down to almost where they were. This is definitely affect any city that started going into progress. Not Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is already way above that, so Pittsburgh will be all right. But any place that was sort of in that transition, I did think Detroit, because I talked to a couple of friends of mine in Detroit, Amy from the Gorgon Girls and that. And I think it's just going to basically keep them down still. Which is kind of sad.
I don't know about that. I'm not a real estate investor, but I found the places that are economically depressed that have really low real estate prices, which Detroit especially has now. People that, because they have so much money, because of, as Bernie says, the economic inequality, they're buying up that property, and pretty soon it will become gentrified. Just like every neighborhood that goes downhill, then rich people start buying the property, they kick the poor people out, and they build condos there. And that can happen in Detroit, just like it's happening in Warrensville.
They have to have reasons to go to the city in the first place, and without the industry, and without the economy, the industry ain't gonna happen. And like I said,
without baseball.
Do that again. Business. But in Pittsburgh, that business has been developed many years. You got your PNC and you got Woo and stuff. Not that I'm happy about that. I'm actually not. I like Pittsburgh better the way I knew it, sort of.
Yeah.
What are you drinking? Are you drinking whiskey?
I agree with Michael. It will probably happen, the gentrification of cities like Detroit. But I agree with Barbara too, that it will be a slow down. That whole process will be slower.
The unemployment that the pandemic has created is Great Depression numbers. It's like the Great Depression numbers. Or worse. Because there's a lot more people. So I don't see that.
Okay, let's not turn this into CNN. I have a roundtable question for everyone, and let's go around the horn. Wait, let's go around the horn, starting with Brian, then to Greg, then to Heather, and to the Angel and Pubic, and then to Barbara. Who all is self-isolating alone by themselves, not as a couple, just as one person isolating? Brian?
No, I live with my girlfriend.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have one for you then.
Okay.
How do you get rid of unwanted pubic hairs?
Oh.
You just shave them to begin with. You don't let them become a thing.
The correct answer is spit. S-P-I-T. Spit.
But I never have to deal with them.
Okay, I'll think about that on the way home too. Yeah, no, don't shave it. You'll be like aliens or prepubescent people. Come on, don't do that.
So that was a wrong
Don't tell
question.
me how to live my life.
I'm alone.
Okay, round the horn. Greg, are you isolating alone? We know you have Boris there.
I have Boris and Iggy.
You're isolating. Okay, so you have two cats and you alone. Okay,
I'm fine with that.
There's a lot of hair between the three
right
of them.
Now, a lot of fuzz, a lot of fur everywhere.
I'm not even gonna.
Fuzzy people. Whoosh. I'm afraid we're gonna find out when I get there.
I'm not even
There's
gonna do
records everywhere. Hey, people, there's records all over the dining room. So. It's a warehouse.
I'm not even gonna do the one about how you get rid of pussy hair. Okay, so Heather, and Dan, you guys are self-isolating by yourself, the two of you, right?
Yeah, we're here. Dan's over there working on his computer.
I have a dog and 5 cats.
They got what? 4 cats.
4 cats.
A dog and 4 cats.
So lots of hair there. And how are you alone, or well, you go to work, so you're there with your father? Are you with your girlfriend watching Netflix?
No, I'm with my girlfriend. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Are you on the hill there, Angel? On the hill where you open the window?
No, not anymore.
Oh, so you don't have that apartment?
No, I got rid of it.
Oh, I didn't know that. Shit. I like that.
He's in Mareo.
The suburbs.
Very close to where
yeah. It's very American. The suburbs.
Yeah, he's very close to the land that I'm getting, where I'm building a house in. They're not very far.
You know, Greg.
You will be neighbors.
Gijón is gentrified too. Gijón is fucking gentrified too. So that apartment was incredibly expensive.
What happened?
So living in the suburbs, it's much cheaper. You got a bigger house, better house, and I live like 5 minutes driving to the work.
Right. You can even bike or something. So the land that I want to get, they have like a bike trail to Gijón. It's like a 5-minute like.
That's just what I want. I want to have a bike trail and.
Yeah, I am there. I don't know what you're doing.
Okay, around the horn, Barbara, we know you have been isolated totally by yourself, locked up like Rapunzel. You're locked up like Rapunzel in this haunted apartment that your parents both lived in pretty much a lot of your life. So we know you have been completely alone, not even allowed to go out on the street without ID. So you're isolating alone in Madrid.
What about people?
I go out for grocery shopping. So I go grocery shopping twice a day. I buy too much stuff.
Yeah.
People only goes out to his mother's every Thursday to pick up croquetas. Is that true?
No, I can't. But I tell you, I go out every day now. Fuck it.
Yes, and that brings us back to Pibs. So are you totally alone, or what did Greg say? You're with your mom, or?
No, alone.
Ah, I like that.
100% isolated.
Let's have
no cat, no dog, no mom, no nothing.
Oh, man. Hey, you got Rosie and her 5 friends.
Oh, I can.
Wait, what is it? Rosie Palm and her 5 friends.
I can tell you. Look, this muscle.
Just right here.
Well, you know what? He can play drums, so we got to practice. He doesn't want to lose his experience with the drums, so he has got to practice.
Yeah. You know why? Because holding his dick is like holding a drumstick.
Oh God.
So, with all that being said, I was curious about what anyone was doing, if anything, to keep their musical chops up while in quarantine. Hopefully, Peebly, you have a better way to keep your rhythm game strong than what Michael is suggesting.
No, that's possible.
But are you able
to... Not really.
Okay, so you're not able to play at your house right now?
No. I don't even have the real drumsticks here.
What about you? What about you, Angel? Are you able to play it all at home?
Yeah, I wrote my right at the moment when we knew there was going to be a lockdown. I wrote my guitar, the electric guitar, because I don't have it here. So I started to practicing. Actually, my like searching YouTube tutorials about scales and guitar shit. And it's funny. I think I've improved a little bit thanks to this crisis.
What about you, Michael?
Well, people told me that he's writing songs too. He's working on songwriting.
Mine is very similar. I am taking the time to try to relearn how to play the piano. I'm like, here's a seventh minor, here's an eighth minor, and not even trying to write anything, just feeling the keys under my fingers and listening to the sound. I find very calming, like a very calming thing. Last night, the power went off for a couple hours. There were big transformer explosions, like boom, boom, boom. It looked like lightning. So there was no power, no internet, no porn, no TV, no Netflix for like 2 hours. I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do? And then I discovered, wait, I actually have candles in this house. I used to light them all the time. So I put a couple candles on top of the piano, and it's amazing just how 2 candles can light up a whole room. And I just sat there for a couple hours just randomly hitting chords on the piano. And before I knew it, I was like, oh, the power came back on. I hope the fucking computer doesn't blow up. Because I need to jack off again.
I would love to be the fly on the wall watching watching a Michael in candlelight just playing piano.
Naked.
Like I said, I am not going to give you my OnlyFans streaming.
Sign up.
But here, I will give you a tip, though. I will give you a tip. During the coronavirus, if you're going to masturbate at home, I'm going to give you a tip, kids. Use a condom. Because you know what? No, because you know what? It makes it last longer. It's a different kind of feeling. And also, the cleanup is much easier, and you won't have to wash your sweatpants as often. Look, kids, even when you're masturbating at home during the quarantine, use a condom for easy cleanup. Not
I need mine are out of date. I need some.
I do want to state for the record that while neither of them are responsible for the comments that are being shared right now, I am fortunate enough in my young adult life, to be employed by 2 people where I can have a chat about masturbation. Free. Not many people can have this sort of conversation with their bosses. Although I don't really feel either of you are my bosses. Don't take that the wrong way. I just feel like we're all good friends.
It's okay.
No, we're pals. We're colleagues. Yeah. That's the way I see it. I consider you a very intelligent person to consider you to be my employee or my assistant or anything. I feel like we're on the same level.
That's sweet. Hey,
I feel that about everybody. I boss the rest of the group here around, but that's because if I didn't, we all know that nothing will get done. So we all agree that I say something and it goes. But same thing. We're all on the same level. Nobody's above anybody.
Yeah.
Oh, but wait.
Greg's being awfully quiet over there.
It's Greg, me, and Greg are above everybody. And
well, sometimes
Zoom hierarchy.
Twice?
Brian, sometimes
you're a little taller. I'll give you that, Michael. Yeah, you're a couple feet taller than me.
Hey, Brian, one question.
Yeah.
Sure. Is your podcast rated E for explicit?
Yeah, it's not it's not clean by any means. Yeah, no.
Second of all, is it available where everyone can get their podcasts? Apple, Spotify, all your podcast platforms?
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, this is the real thing.
Yeah.
Cool. It's above all of those two.
I know
better
that.
Than like 90% of the crapola in there.
Well, I think if anybody's watching this right now, they know where to find it because they've already found it. Because they're already here.
Oh. No, yeah, I mean, it's going to be archived, right?
Yes,
so
of course.
Available wherever you get your podcast. Now, more than ever, we're all in this together.
Yes. We certainly are. And I do hope that things get back to normal sooner than later, but much like has been discussed already, we have no idea. There's really no way to know. And I think mentally the best thing to do.
What, how?
Yeah. Mentally,
what the new normal is going to be.
Yeah, I think mentally the best thing to do is just to not get your hopes up and just try to work with what you got in the moment.
Bye.
I mean,
day
it's
by day, drink by drink.
I have a calendar that I keep that's specifically for events. And once all this stuff went down, I didn't look at it for a month. And I finally just looked at it yesterday and just realizing how much stuff got canceled and moved. It was like probably like a couple dozen of things that I just didn't do. I was like, wow, that's completely crazy that I was doing this much stuff all the time. Because I'm doing barely anything now, and it feels so weird.
You just rearranged it though, Brian. You're probably still as busy, but
it's different. I was like, I'm busy, but on my own schedule. Like today, honestly, having something that I had to do at a certain time stressed me out because it's been weeks since I had to do anything at a certain time. It was a different feeling.
That's what I do.
That is okay though.
My yoga class.
Yeah.
Let me say something. That's what I'm doing my yoga class every day at the same time because at the beginning it was stressing me out, same thing. But now I know it's like at 6 p.m. every day. I got my yoga class and I build my day, and it just helps me keep a structure and also do something that I have to be prepared for. So yeah, I think without that, I'm like, that's the only thing that I do that is different. Every day I cook myself something different to eat, and the yoga routine is different every day. Those are the only two things I can control that I can make different. The rest of the day is the fucking same every day for 45 days now.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy.
We have to get Angel and Pibbs here, but if I just might say that for me, every time I see something on my calendar that's canceled, I'm like, oh, that's fucking great. I'm so happy. I'm like, another thing canceled. Thank you, Jesus. Okay.
I agree.
Wait, the dentist is closed. I don't have to go to the right.
Yeah, I agree with Brian. I understand that feeling. It's exactly that when now you look back at and you realize how stressful life we live in the modern world. So in a way, this pandemic, this lockdown is good to realize that you can be good on your own as well, be more quiet, but that doesn't mean that you can still be doing things. And for example, myself, I don't have enough free time at home, even with this lockdown. I'm always doing, trying the guitar, reading a lot, watching movies. Yeah. So, but I understand. I look back like we were supposed to be making this tour and playing with this and playing with that and going to and these holidays and everything. So you realize how busy we are normally.
But you're not here and you're missing Badama's pizza.
I know, and I'm envious. I envy you.
What was it, $100?
You can make pizza at home.
Send me.
You have enough time, you can make pizza.
Sip one, please.
Angel, you can start making pizza from scratch.
No, we take we have pizza twice a week, and sometimes because they're still serving food, takeaway food. They have the delivery.
The Italian places.
So there's a good Italian place here. There are a couple from Italy, and they never close.
Barbara.
So we will call once.
Barbara, you know El Obetense is delivering food.
You got garlic chicken.
Garlic chicken, they are delivering.
Well, I live in the Italian part of Madrid. There's a lot of Italian shops. So I had fresh pasta carbonara today. I buy ravioli, so you can buy the things to make the pizza. So I can buy all kinds of good Italian food every day. They're open all day long too. So and a lot of markets you can find anything that you want.
I agree with I agree with Greg that there's nothing like Badamos and Beto's. That's you can't find that in Europe.
Badamos pizza.
Anthony.
I might have missed it, but was Pubic going to say something about everything being canceled? Because his whole livelihood is pretty much playing and being a musician. So he doesn't have another job like all the other of us have. Well, some of us. And I was wondering how Pubic feels about everything being canceled.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I'm fine. No problem.
He's not the only one.
Yeah.
Well, the difference, what I'm looking from seeing some people around here saying things in the news about the entertainment business, at least we have a roof over our heads and food. Some people can't even afford that. They're like getting kicked out because they can pay.
Luckily, I have some money saved.
Right, and then you have food, and so we are privileged in that sense.
To Barbara's point, what about the homeless? What about all these kids locked up in cages at these migrant camps? What about the people in jail that are trapped in a Corona petri dish? Yeah, I think we're pretty lucky.
Yeah, we are.
Oh yeah, yes.
For a few more months.
Yeah, I don't complain.
No.
Doesn't go out of my mind, but just being alone all the time in this case. But the same thing. I mean, the day goes fast. I'm busy all day long.
I just, I drank some Clorox this morning just as a preventive maintenance when I left the house. So I'm okay.
I like to mix my Clorox with some Imodium and Pepto.
And I sprayed my whole body with Lysol just as a deterrent.
And some Weigel whiskey.
You first.
I like that one. I actually like that one.
Yeah, the wheat whiskey. It's not safe if you're what's it called, wheat intolerant. But I gotta ask you.
Yeah, that's okay, but it's good for you. It's like whole grain bread. No, but
Angel's thinking, are we done yet?
On that. No joke here, but I think you already inhale or did enough intake of Lysol and Clorox back in your Coke days.
Oh yeah. Hey.
And baking soda.
Yeah, that's okay. It all worked out fine. That's probably why I never got it yet.
Oh, geez.
Hey, look, I know Angel has a heart out.
Not sure Brian knew about that, but
I know Angel has a heart out because he's like Cinderella. He's going to turn into Pumpkin at midnight. Brian, do you have any pressing questions that you didn't get to? You have like a card like David Letterman?
I had absolutely no plan going into this because I knew even if I had a structure, it was going to go off the rails.
Forget about it.
I didn't even bother trying. I just didn't even bother.
It's like walking in the front door. Get him, Brian.
Yeah, no.
Come in with a plan and throws a plan out.
No, I've been doing this show long enough to know that anytime you have more than one other person in the room, it's a disaster, and having 7 people on a online chat. But so I was just gonna let you roll with it, and I was gonna chime in. But I do hope that whenever things are less chaotic, we can do this in person, because I do have some real questions to ask you at some point in time.
That's fine.
Everyone's too lonely and distracted to really have a focused conversation right now.
We're still trying to interview Michael for our documentary.
I'm very sad to say, Brian, that even in person, it's going to be just as bad.
No, but I can.
Well, maybe even worse.
Yeah, probably. It might come to physical blows.
I feel like I can control the situation in person a lot better when I'm not dealing with internet latency.
Yeah. Yeah, you when you're in person also you rely more on the physical language, and body language, I mean.
Yes,
and that helps a lot. And
exactly. That's the word. Natural. It's more natural.
Yeah, I'm talking to a cell phone now. It's like,
yeah.
What's that?
I'm so tired of this. It took me a while. I always hated this whole video thing.
You're bad.
With all that being said, I do think that we should probably wrap this up. We've hit our hour. So we're definitely good to go in terms of the
And
podcast.
Angel has to go to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm hungry. I'm hungry because I didn't have
Me
the
too. Me too.
dinner. I haven't had dinner today yet. So
I have some cabrales and jamon waiting for me.
Well,
Nice.
I want to thank you, Brian. I especially want to thank Angel for not eating on Zoom because that's really annoying. So
I'm not doing that.
Of course,
I'm not
thank you to
eating
Daddy, Papa Paz, and Barbara. Thanks to Heather and Dan, and of course the God of Thunder, the love of my life. Keep choking on the drumstick. Choke it low for a while, and then choke the top, and then
Feebly,
to
keep
the hi-hat.
jerking the chicken.
Cradle the balls. Cradle the balls.
I want some pollo frito from El Obetense. Can you ship some to me, Feebly?
Chicken garlic and liver. Mm.
Nah, not for me. Not for me.
Please, Dan and Heather. Dan and Heather,
Garlic
say
chicken you like.
hi to the raccoons from Raccoon.
We heard some the other night. We heard some ghosts, right? We're going to record them for you.
Yeah, please send it.
Yeah. One of them we think one of them knocked the bird feeder off the tree and was eating the bird.
David Axelrod. Holy shit.
I'm going to do my outro.
To see.
I'm going to do my outro.
Okay.
Then we're wrapping this motherfucker up. All right.
You better do it.
And that is all, folks. Thanks so much for
Bye,
listening.
Brian.
We'll see you, homie.
Great.
Thank you, Brian.
Michael, Angel, Peebly,
See ya,
Barbara,
Angel.
Heather, Dan, the Cynics and company. So good to see everybody. I'll be back again in a couple days with another episode. Same time, same place, same channel. You know the drill. My name is Sykes. Start the beat 2020. Woo woo! Thanks for listening. And everyone out there, take care of yourselves. All right.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Heather,
Stay
Dan.
safe.
Bye,
Stay
guys.
safe.
Adiós. Adiós a todos.
Bye.
Buenas noches.